It dawned on me this year for the first time what the root of the greatest sins in all of Chumash are. Two of them we read about, one in this week's parsha in Israel and one in this week's parsha in Chutz La'aretz. Chet HaMeraglim, the sin of the spies. How could it be that 10 of the great leaders handpicked by God to see the good in the land could not only see the bad in the land, but bring the Jewish people to a lack of faith, to cry desperately in the desert, believing there's no way they could go into the land? What brought Korach to challenge the unchallengeable, to challenge Moshe Rabbeinu's leadership, to challenge his choice of Aharon, to win over 250 of the great leaders, Roshei Sanhedrin, the great leaders of the Jewish people, to challenge to the very leadership of Moses and going down to their death, believing in the justice of their court? What brings a person to do such a thing? And of course, one of the greats, of course, Chet HaEgel. What brought the people then? Chet HaEgel, to challenge, to cry out to Aharon that they need to build an idol, to go back to the idols of Egypt. And then Chet HaMeraglim, and then Chet Korach. What's at the root of all of these sins? I believe, it dawned on me this year, it's desperation, despair, yiush. When you've got nothing to lose, it's all over. When you find yourself caught in a catch-22 situation, there's nowhere to go, you're absolutely desperate. There's gloom, there's misery, there's desperation, there's dejection. There's nothing you can do. When Moshe Rabbeinu didn't come down from the mountain, the very person who brought them out of Egypt, their guiding light in the desert, they all said, Ki za ish Moshe, lo yadanu ma yalo. We didn't know what happened to him. And therefore, there was no way forward. What could they do without Moses? They were absolutely lost in the desert. So too with Chet HaMeraglim. The Meraglim sinned in bringing themselves and the Jewish people to desperation. There is no ways, there's no way we can go in. We want to go back, but we can't go back. We're going to die in the desert, and everybody's sitting, crying and crying and crying, not knowing the way forward. And of course, Korach in the parasha in Israel, the incredibly desperate move, especially if we follow the opinion of Rashi, and Ramban says this explicitly, that it happened chronologically. It was after the sin of the spies, where there was now dejection. The whole generation realized that all those between 20 and 60, all the men of that generation were going to pass out, die in the desert. When that generation was not going to go into the desert, they had, so to speak, they were desperate. That is when they rebelled and did the silliest of things, and the most because of desperation. Despair, yiush, gloom and doom. This, I would say, is the antithesis of everything spiritual. The essence of Yiddishkeit, as Rav Nachman of Breslov has famously said in that famous song, those famous 5 words, Ein shum yeush klal ba'olam. There is no such thing in the world, according to the Torah perspective of the world, of yeush. Yes, there is difficulty. Yes, there is challenge. Yes, at times there's pain and tragedy. But desperation, despair, endless doom and gloom, Ein shum yesh ba'olam, the essence of Judaism is emunah and tikvah, that no matter what, no matter how desperate we feel, with a belief in God, a personal and purposeful God, that things will turn out for the best, and no matter how difficult they are. This is the essence of Judaism. It is the essence of all of the great sins in the desert, and it's the great avodah pnimit that all of us need to do, that in the difficult, dark times of despair and doom and gloom, Ein shum yesh ba'olam klal, we believe in Hashem, La man Yisrael, there is a way forward, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and Be'ezrat Hashem, there is always a way to the promised land. Shabbat Shalom.